Singen Jevuchim, Vater Melech, Malchai, Yama Meluchim, La Meyol Mahayu. A good Voch Raboisai. Lilu Nishmas Imi Merosirus Mordechai. Shkoyach Gadol to our lustrous, is that a good word? Guest, the parents Chaim Levin, who sponsored tonight's Malava Malka, the pizza and the fries. If you're listening live, you can still come by. There's a bunch of pies in the back over there. Alex Gilden. I just wanted to say I'm enjoying all the new views on the camera, including the fact that on a daily basis, I can now see the color of your socks. Very exciting. Tagile. Stop, don't even try. Aha. Your style is even a little more interesting than I thought. Interesting. Whenever I look for the tie now, it's got to have the Eli Stefansky look, otherwise it's just a regular tie. Let's see if this... On a serious note, I've always appreciated and continue to appreciate your care for Klal Yisroel. MDY is truly a cross-cut of all Bnei Yisrael's colors, from modern to Haredi, etc. They only continue to breed Achdus, Kvoit Shamayim, Kvoit Chaverim, and may we be Zoicha to see the Beis HaMikdash rebuilt this year. Alex Gilden. Dear Belly, I must thank you for the free Gemara that you sent me. The day before I was going to camp, your good Chaver, Yumi Rosenbaum, knocked on the door and handed me a Gemara. The camp, I did a few daf, and now I'm right into it. For me, it's summer holidays, and I thought that Daf Yomi is the way to go. I love the song by Reb Nachman Seltzer. Okay, one of my friends who knows I'm a Rebbe Eli Stefansky fan pointed out to me on a Torah Savik, the Parsha sheet, your very famous quote, it's not about the daf, it's about the Yomi. Don't know what he's talking about, but okay. You send the picture? You should. Another boy in my class thinks you're a Meshugana. I'm still trying to brainwash him. The reason for him thinking this is that one time I showed him the video, the siyum, and he saw you laying on a table. I told him that really has changed so many families' lives, including mine. My dream is for you to come to Australia and give a Daf Yomi share. I was just very excited that in Australia they also use that lashon. Meshugana. Thank you, Kol Tov, Chazak Baruch, Avrumi Bensky. Rabbi Isai, the Masechta sponsored for the unity of Am Yisrael. Parnas HaChodesh, Eli Zechariah ben Moshe, Eli Zechariah bas Yosef. Parnas HaChodesh. Yosef and Chaya sorrowful zchusim that come from supporting limud HaTorah. Parnas HaYoim, L'zeichen Nishmas, my little 5-year-old sister, Shiffy. On her 25th Yor Tzeit, Shifra Fraida A, Shalom Bas, Rabbi Yisroel Meir Shlita, by her brother. Elana Price, Mazal Tov to my son, Akiva Benguigui, Benguigui. Akiva Benguigui on a siyum tonight, on Mishna Misechet B. I don't know what that is, but a big siyum. Mazal Tov, Mazal Tov. All right, Rabbi Isai, we're on the bottom of Daf Nun, Amud Beis. We are 50 days into Masechet Bava Kama. So here's the shaila. I was surprised based on the question. The fact that I'm just asking the question. If you were here yesterday, don't even try to answer it. If somebody dug a pit that's 10 tfachim deep, it can kill an animal 10 tfachim. Comes another person along and digs another tefach, so now it's 11 tfachim. Who's chayiv? First guy or the second guy? Or both? Or none? Huh?
That's Manchester.
Ooh, wow. Did I show that thing in Manchester? I had it in my...
You didn't show
Shalom Aleichem. But did you show it?
No, you didn't mention it.
It was there in the... I put it in my sheets. All right, just go guys from Manchester. Where's Matis? The guy that I didn't change his life. Here's the guy. Here he goes. He's calling his wife over. Yossi Dahari, that's right. Yossi Dahari, thank you, Shifra, for putting this together. Yossi, you should know it was in my the PowerPoint to show during share. For some reason, I skipped over it. I don't know what happened. Yeah, you saw it. Shapsi saw it. Okay. Rabbi said, here we go. All the way on the bottom. So we learned the other day that according to Rav Nachman, if a bull falls into a ditch, irrigation ditch, that's exactly 1 amma by 1 amma, he gets trapped there. He falls in. So the guy, the owner, thinks, oh, it's a great idea. Now he's trapped, he can't move, let me shecht him. So Rav Nachman said the animal's treif. Why? Because we learned there's something called risuk evarim. If an animal falls, perhaps his bones are fashmettered, something inside happened. So the way he says, Rav Nachman says, all you need to do is wait 24 hours, or you let him walk, whatever. There's ways to figure it out. But you went ahead, you acted too quickly without asking your Rav, you're going to lose your money. But what is he saying? He's saying that in Be'etzem, since this animal, it's possible that it has risukei varim, that creates what? A treifa. Meaning the animal's going to die. Because if he wasn't a treifa, it wouldn't be a problem. So what if an animal has a broken bone, you're allowed to shech, you're allowed to eat. The problem is that maybe there's an internal injury, and maybe he's a treifa. So you see that even though he only fell 1 amma equals 6 tfachim, you can still get an internal injury from 6 tfachim. And you were saying the whole time that you need 10 tfachim. Akabam, you see that Rav Nachman holds 6 tfachim is enough. Eisvi Roveler Rav Nachman, so the Talmud asks his Rebbe, Hoyu zchusim asar tfachim, if the bar was less than 10 tfachim, and over the Shifra Fraida A, the last line on Amud Beis, but over the Shifra Fraida A umeis potter. My time you see that you're potter, so you see why you're potter, because there's no chavata, there's no concern that you're going to get this big impact from 6 tfachim. There's no impact. Says the Gemara loy mishum the less bei havla. Now remember, according to Rav, you need hevel. You need that the ear isn't good. So the reason, this goes according to Rav, the reason why if it falls into a bar that's less than 10 tfachim, you potter, is because there's no bad ear. Now, Stamazah, when you mention bad ear, it's kedai to mention that Rabbi Yisroel Salanter, who's the one that said, I think all the way in the beginning of Bava Kama, maybe even the first daf, says that it's chaval, and we'll see soon today's daf as well, that people should learn about nizikin, about hezek, because hezek is a deraisa. So he says that if a person goes to shul, let's say, and he leaves the front door open, he's being over on gneva in a way, because you're letting all the hot air in the winter, all the air conditioning we have today, you're letting it out. Just think about it before you open up a window in a Malkum Kaddish or any place. Stop, like the sensitivity to think about what are you causing here. Interesting. That's the Gemara. If there's the thing is, the reason why you potter is because there's not a lack of bad air. There's good air. So how come if this animal falls into a lower ditch that's not 10 tfachim, if he dies he potter, but if this has a chayev, why? Because I don't know why. You said the ear is good, so what's the problem? You're right. The ear is not bad enough to kill an animal, but bad enough to damage an animal. Eisvei. Beis Askila again. So what are we trying to prove? Can an animal die with less than 10 tfachim? Rav Nachman says it could. You see, even though this animal only fell into 1 amma, he said it's treif. Beis Askila hayagavoya shtei koimos. Oh, we have a nice Beis Askila. So here we have a guy that's in prisoner clothes. It's interesting. I got to tell the Olam, this person asked me not to read the email, so I'm not going to read the email, but I will say that a certain person wrote me an email, says it's not nice the way with this, the artist is depicting women, the pregnant woman. Why does she have to have such large ears? I'm serious, a real email. The ears are too large. I'm looking. This is a guy who has the same large ears. It was a potato head. I don't think he depicted anything. He just showed a potato head. People have to complain about everything. We were depicted a woman with large ears. Okay. So here's a person that's condemned to death, and they're about to throw him off this little skila base. So how tall does it have to be? It has to be 6 amos plus his height. A person is about 3 amos. 3 amos is approximately 6 feet. So a total of what? 18 feet from his head, from the top of his head, because he's going to be falling on his head. Falls on his head, he will die. So, as the Gemara, the Tani Allah, which is 6 amos, plus his 3 amos, you have 3 floors, 3 times 3. I love this. It's like when I read it, I just laugh to myself. Where it says, why do you need that height? Put him on a table, like right here. That's about 10 tfachim, and throw him off the table on his head. And that will be skila, the guy's going to die. According to what you just told me, that if an animal fell off 6 tfachim, he could die. So then why do you have to go to such a 3 koimos, to 12 amos? Or 6 amos plus 3 amos. Just knock him off a table. Says the Gemara, okay, you say 6, but even according to you, 10 also kills. So then go to 10 tvachim. The Gemara's kash is put him on a 6, put him on a chair, throw him off a chair. So okay, so chair is too low, and according to you, a table is good enough, so put him off a table. What do you gain? Says Gemara, Tamech Nabed Sara, Elokir Nachman. And this, Rabbi said, again, if you were here, there's a kid that got this. He claims he never heard this and he got it on his own. It's a Geshmak Shayla. What is the easiest Vahafta L'Reach Kamoicha to be Mekayim? The easiest one, you know. A 13-year-old got it. I'm just a 13-year-old. This right over here. This is the easiest one. Don't worry, Nachman. We have a chiyuv to treat even somebody that's condemned to death, even though he has a chiyuv misa, he did something that's awesome d'oraisa, and he was warned by Edom not to do it, and he did. You still have to treat him with respect, like you would want to be treated. What is the best way to die? You have to give him the quick death. And the quick death means off a higher platform. It's interesting that the Rambam says, I was at somebody's house eating a meal a couple weeks ago. I remember, I'm just going to throw out a couple of weeks so nobody chaps who it is. And I was talking about a guy that's completely off, and he's and I said one word, and one of the guys in the house jumped. He says, Lashon Hara, what are you doing? He started giving me Musar. He said, you have to know the Hilchos Lashon Hara. It's not Lashon Hara. No, it is Lashon Hara. Fine. But the Rambam says that there's no mitzvah to love somebody that's over Yisurim in public, and that you are mechiach him and you tell him don't do it and he doesn't listen. There's no mitzvah of after Recha Kamoicha. Fakert. There's a mitzvah to hate him. Mitzvah to hate him, he says. So what's going on over here? If there's a mitzvah to hate somebody like that, this person just went and he's over something with Hasra, with Hoichacha and everything, and he wasn't Makabel. So maybe the pshat is that once he's in this position that he's about to die, so they tell him you have to do vidui and everything. So maybe at that point he's Makabel, he did tshuva, etc. Just, I'm not a Rav again, but maybe you shouldn't yell at people if you talk Lashon Hara about a guy that's Machal Shabbos for Esi, let's say. And he was warned. And it's not, there's no issue. Now I'm going to get from all these emails and this. You told me, Peretz Chaim, you told me I should say Lashon Hara. Is that good or that's bad? Okay. But I don't think these are the halachas you wanted me to say, the kulas. You wanted me to say the chumras. Okay. It's interesting that the Satmar Rav says that what they say about the Baal Shem Tov and his talmidim that he used to be matzdik. He would like say, no, you didn't do such a aveira. This he says sheker v'chazav. He never did that. He would daven for Rishayim that they should do tshuva, but he would never tell a Rosh in his face, oh, you're a good guy, Hashem loves you, and this kind of stuff. That's what the Sadbar Rav says. Okay, I'll go upon him. So says the Gemara, if that's the case, that we have to we have to dump him off a high platform. He should die quick. Yachi nagbetfei. I have a much better idea. Put him in or Michal's here. Anybody want to buy a plane? He's selling his plane. But before, this is, I hope you're buying like a Cirrus or something, geschmack, a jet or something. But no, this is a great idea. You take this convict, you bring him on the plane, and you tell him there's a parachute on his back, saying you want to go for your last jump before he jumps. And then you say, by the way, there's no, as he push him out, you know, 10,000 foot fall, he's going to die instantly. It's geschmack. Says Gemara, Mishum de Minval. That's not good. Why? Because his limbs are going to splatter everywhere, and that's not nice. That's not V'avdu Recha. So don't exaggerate over here. This also, I started saying this joke. This is a joke from Cheder, from a kid, but all the kids in the Israelis, they know this joke. The Americans don't know these kind of jokes. What is the difference between a guy that jumps off a 1-story building and a 10-story building? You say, guy, that's right. Who said that? That's Israeli. You have to know Israeli. All Israelis know this. The guy that jumps off a 1-story goes like this, boom, ah! And the guy that jumps off 10 stories, ah, boom. Okay, fine. Talk to Gemara. I didn't say in Hebrew. I saw it. Oh, so let's go back to this pasuk. It says in the pasuk about so it says like this. First of all, you have a house. There's a house. That's the house. And this damim, you cause death. Emimenu, you're falling from a house to the Rosh Hashanah, not vice versa, not from Rosh Hashanah to the house. Rabbi Isai, whoever's talking, I don't know who you are. I'm not going to look up there and down there. It's disturbing. So, says the Gemara like this. Not that you fall from Rosh Hashanah to the Rosh Hashanah. Here, I think we have to go this way. Oh, if the Rosh Hashanah is taller than the house, he fell from the Rosh Hashanah to the Rosh Hashanah potter, because that's not your obligation. You don't have to put a makkah. You hear Gershon? We have to put a makkah one of these days. It's not your obligation. The city has to put a fence there. Whoever is in charge of the road. That's not your problem. What is your problem? Amuka mimenu. But if you do this, you're from a house. Asara tfachim. You fell from the Shusayachid. The Shusarabim. Chayav. Your obligation, you have to make sure that people don't fall off your property. Why? Because the pasuk says, mimenu. Now, ask the Gemara, what if a person could die less than 10 tefachim? Shouldn't you be obligated to put a makkah even less than if the fall is less than 10 tefachim? Pay attention. The Torah says it has to be a house, and if the house is not 10 tefachim, then it's not a house. Now, if you're measuring a house from the outside of the house, and you're telling me that it's a 10 tefachim house, it's very possible that this is not a real picture, because we want to show really here. My picture might have been better. No, it's also not the house. It's better if he fell off the house. But I'll go part of the question is like this. You have a house that's 10 tefachim tall. Off the roof to the floor is 10 tefachim. But wait a minute, the roof takes up room. There's rafters, there's shingles, there's drywall, all this stuff. So inside the house, maybe you have 6 tvachim left. So it's not a house. Inside has to be 10 tvachim. Says the Gemara, it's not a house. Why is that called a house? You're right. He drilled underneath. He made the house with inside. Outside it's 10 tefachim with the roof, but inside he dug deeper into the ground, and he has inside the house. He does have 10 tefachim. My chavrusa told me on Shahaya mamish recently that in the old city, his cousin was drilling to get a little bit more into the room. He wanted to. He said, "I figured, okay, the walls in the old city are very, very thick." So he told the Kabbalah, "Take off half the wall. We'll spread out." So the guy's drilling. All of a sudden, knock on the door. The cops are there. He said, "There's a shul around the corner, down the block, underneath, that somebody is trying to steal the Sefer Torah. There's a drill bit in the Aron Kodesh, and we think it's coming from your house." He didn't even know there's a shul. He said it's called Chayvivim or something like that. So he says, okay, there's a drill bit in the Aron Kodesh. So no, didn't touch the Sefer Torah. So he said, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down. I'm going to leave the Sefer Torah, the Aron Kodesh part. We're going to drill this diamond or whatever it was downwards. So they start drilling. They're going down. All of a sudden, one of the bricks falls and keeps on going. They go in there, they look, and they see there's a tunnel. They're on a tunnel. This tunnel, like a water kind of shaft, that goes all the way to the it's called the Cordova, whatever that is. He said this by the Cardo. That's right, the Cardo. This whole thing, like hundreds and hundreds of feet underneath this house. Since everything's built on top of everything, it's Gevaldik over there. Okay, so do not do Chok Megavai. Don't try. If you live in the old city, at least, don't go downwards. So ask the Gemara, if you could do this trick, a normal person probably, even if you're very short, you probably want to live in less than at least 10 tefachim, right? So then why do you need a house that from the outside is 10 tefachim? You can have a house that's from the outside 4 tefachim, and you dug very deep. You got 10 tefachim in the house. It's still considered a house, and you still be chayav in a makkah. Says the Gemara, time the Rav Nachman, you're right. Okay. Rav Nachman says that an animal that fell into 6 tefachim becomes a treifa, savar, mikreisa, the toyer lara kamahava. When you look at the animal from its stomach down, from its belly down, you have at least 4 tefachim, right? A horse that's standing up. His legs are at least 4 tefachim, probably 10 or more. But let's give it 4. So then you have arba. Mikreisa, the toyer lara kamahava, arba. You have 4 tefachim from its stomach to the floor. Arita did aloi kamahava, this amas hamayim that this animal fell into was 6 tefachim. So total shita, which is 1 amma is shita. Hava Sara, 4 plus 6 is 10. So this animal that Rav Nachman said is treif. You're right that the actual ditch is only 6, but the animal is at least 4 tefachim tall. So it fell from it once its head fell or whatever fell, it was 10 tefachim fall. Why does the Mishnah say they need 10 tefachim in a bar? According to Shmuel that we're talking about, chavata. According to Rav, you need ear, but according to bad ear. But according to Shmuel, the animal dies from the impact, so 6 is enough because the animal is at least 4 tefachim tall. Says the Gemara, Amri Masnisin din gander lebar. So we have a picture here. This is a gander lebar. Take a look. A gander lebar. In other words, it's not standing up tall. Its head is right there. Let's say this bar is 6 tefachim. So how much did the animal fall? 6 tefachim. If it's standing up straight, it fell 10 tefachim because the legs are at least 4 tefachim. Says the Gemara, says the Mishnah. Stamazoi. Okay, fine. I was just going to say that Rav Vosner says, in terms of doing things that are dangerous, I don't know if this is the right place to say it, but okay, I just put it over here. Things that are dangerous and he talks about driving. And we spoke about it because there was a Friday that somebody got killed in Borough Park. Somebody ran a red light in Borough Park, and then the cops went and they looked at all the videos in Borough Park and saw that, I forget how many, 15 people went through red lights or something. Erev Shabbos, they're in a rush. So he talks about it, he just says, it's kedai to know, he says that there's no dina de malchusa dina when it comes to these things. It's what's common sense. And the law is to protect society. It's not you have to obey the law because it's dina de malchusa. You have to obey the law because otherwise you're being a mazik. And you have to make sure not to go through red light. He talks about a whole arichas dvar. Fine. Just thought I'll throw it in there. Why? Because we're talking about virus. We're talking about this. So fine. Bar shel shnei shutfim. If you have a bar that's owned by two people, aval of a rishon v'lo kiso. Oh, do we have a sponsor? Yeah, Moshe Cohen. Daily Gemish is sponsored by Moshe Cohen. Sponsored l'schus hatzlochen ruchnius and gashmis v'chol anyanim. Bar shel shnei shutfim. The pit is owned by two people. The first guy walked by and he didn't cover it. And the second guy came and he didn't cover it. So Rashi brings right away, and we're going to see in the Gemara that it's a very special case. It's not stam that the first guy went by and didn't cover it, and then the second went by and didn't cover it. Because if that's the case, the halacha would be, who's chayiv? The first guy saw shutuf number one. He owns his bar. He noticed that his bar is not covered. And he keeps on walking. Comes shutuf number two, sees the bar is not covered, and keeps on walking. Who's chayiv? Huh? You say two? Both. First one. Good. Give us second one. We have first one, second one, and both. The halacha is both. They're both chayiv. They both were negligent. The first one was negligent. He saw that it's not covered. So how come over here the Mishnah says that the second one is chayiv? Because the Gemara is going to talk about a situation where the first one gave over the reins, so to speak. He said, "You're responsible now. Okay, you're responsible." Oh, so if he said that and they did either the Maisa, he gave him the cover, whatever it is, then he's chayiv. Says the Gemara, I just need to understand the situation. How is it possible in this world to have a bar that's owned by two people? It's impossible, says the Gemara. If you hold if you hold that a bar is possible to be in Rosh Hashanah, okay, then I understand. The land was owned by both of them. The pit is owned by both of them. Like we said in the other Mishnah, and they disowned their own rishos. They said anybody can walk there, but they kept on to the bar. But remember, we had a machlokes Rabbi Akiva and Bishmal. Bishmal is the one that holds that a bar rishos potter. How is it possible? So let's go through all the ways it's possible. Rishos harabim. Oh, it's in Rishos harabim. So they don't own the rishos. It's in Rishos harabim, like Bishmal says. The bar is rishos. Rishos harabim, bar rishos. How is it possible? If they sent a guy to dig the ditch for them, they told him, "You are our shliach. Go ahead and dig out a bar." It's also to do something that's an aveira for somebody else, and if you do it, it doesn't go after the two people that sent you. You yourself are liable. It's also to be mazik the property of the public. Yeah, so you don't have to go into it, but I was very upset. On Friday, somebody sent out a video. They're looking for two guys, two frum people, that walked into one of the lobbies in this neighborhood with a hammer and broke the screen. There shouldn't be a screen in this lobby. But okay, that's already private property. I'm talking about even public property. Some people believe you're allowed to burn garbage cans, you're allowed to destroy public, whatever it is. They go, I'm saying, it's usher. There's an isser to destroy public property. Okay? The Gemara says it here. Most people learn, that's the pshat here. Ein shlich l'dvar avera, the avera of destroying public property. They're going to Rabbim and to destroy that. Yeah, Nachamal, to go back to Yisroel Salanter. So also Lanta says that people are very makbid learning Mishnah Berurah, which is a lot of the Rabbanans, like Negel Vaser and all, and even Tzitzis, which is Chiyuv, if you wear Dal Kamis, whatever. But to go and to damage somebody's property, that's Issa Deraisa. So maybe people should be more makbid on learning that Shulchan Aruch. Okay. So they're Rosh Hashanah. Okay. This guy dug 5 and this guy dug 5. So when the second guy dug the final 5 tfachim of the bar, then the first guy is out of it. Okay. So we're going to see literally in 3 lines, but the Gemara doesn't even say what it is. We're going to see that there's a machlokes between Rebbe and Chachamim. That if somebody dug a 9 tefach bar and another person came along and added the final 10th tefach, now it's a killing bar, it's a killer. So according to Rebbe, you become a partner only for nizakin. And according to Chachamim, the second guy is always chayiv, even on nizakin. So according to Rebbe, there's one shita in one case, hezek. Hezek, when it comes to damages, you could be a partner with somebody. Why? Because the guy that dug 9, he could damage. The guy that dug 10, he just added to the damage. Okay, so they're both shutvim in damage. But to kill an animal, you need 10. So you're not a partner with anybody. You that dug the 10th tefach, you're the only one liable. According to Chachamim, even by hezek, you're not a partner. So ask the Gemara, Rebbe, ulinizakin. If you're talking about Rebbe, and that one case of damage, mishkachasla. Okay, there's a case where one partner dug 9, the second partner dug 10, the 10th tefach. Now they're partners. Ela Rebbe ulemisa. But according to Rebbe himself, there's no partnership when it comes to the death of an animal, ula rabbanon. And according to Rabbanon, certainly there's no partnership. The second guy is the only guy that's chayav. So then what's the situation? Tell me, how do you have a bar in the middle of Rosh Hashanah that 2 people own it? We have a picture. A fixed picture from Friday. And they're holding on. They're holding on to, I got this from AI, nobody helped me. But on Friday, the Olam said that you could see the string through the hand. Now, Yoshi fixed it up. Basically, the bar, let's say, was 9 tefach, and the 2 of them pulled out the final tefach together. So now you have a bar. This is an interesting shayla of the water. How water works. Okay, that's today's sugya. We'll get to it. It might not be the most accurate picture. It's l'saber so'ezen. Huh?
What's a chulya?
A chulya is like no. This is a stone. A chulya is like it's like a stone material, like one of the. No, chulya is a piece of not earth, like no, like. I believe it's like a ring, That's what does the article say? It's a part of the dirt that you take out. Huh? A clump of dirt. A chulya to me means a round thing, like the bar is made out of a bunch of round, and he pulled out the last one. Over here, they pulled out a stone. They made it. Oh, geschmack. I see there's a nice video coming out. Maybe shut that off for a second. I need to see what this is. I have no idea what this is. Okay, we could show it. Hold on, we could show it. This is mamashit. Okay, you ready? Geschmack moed. First time I'm seeing this. So here's one guy. It is for that. One guy took water and he left the other guy behind. That's what the Gemara is going to say. It's not bad. So the second guy, he's the guy that's chayiv because I don't know exactly what happened over there. Okay, so it's not exactly accurate to what our Mishnah says, but okay, we get the idea. Says Gemara, my Rebbe. So how do you have shutfus in a bar? They both pulled out the last stone together. Shut in Rosh Hashanah. Says Gemara, my Rebbe, my Rabbanon. What's the machlokes? One dug a pit that's 9, and the other one came and made it 10. Or Chayiv. Rebbe Omer, Rebbe says there's a partnership only for Nizakin and not for the death of an animal. That an animal is only the second guy. By time of the Rabbanon, we had this kasha. Why does the Torah have to say that you dug a pit? Even if you opened up the pit, you're chayiv. Person dug after another person. The second person got it to 10 tefachim. By him doing the 10th tefach, he got rid of the first guy completely. He took the entire responsibility upon himself. Rebbe Yamalach, I love how the Gemara does that. The Gemara understands that you remember what we learned at least yesterday. Now, if you're in yeshiva, you learned it 6 months ago. But if you're in the Daf Yomi, you learned it yesterday. You should really remember it. But we still don't remember it. Givaldik. That what? We said that Chaya, that the ki yiftach v'chiyichra, it could be the guy that opens it, he didn't do a maisa really. The guy that it's Chaya, maybe if he dug completely, maybe he has to fill it up in order not to be chayiv. That's why you need those 2 psukim. Fine. It says Gemara, v'Rabbanon trei ish barks. Oh, what did I skip? Only a few lines. They had the same drasha from yesterday. Says Gemara, the Rabbanon makro kichre ish bar. Echad veloy shnayim. Here we see it on the thing. V'chiyiftach ishbar or kiyichre ishbar. So ish means one person is chayiv. Echad veloy shnayim. Who? The second guy is chayiv. Whether it's nezek, whether it's misa, the second guy is always chayiv. The Torah says to exclude. It can't be 2 people. It's 1 person. Rebbe, what does he do with ish? We learned if the bull himself digs a pit, nachay. Rabbanon, trei ishbar ksivi. Here you have both of them. Here two lashonos, ishbar. Rebbe, and what is he going to do with the second one? So again, what do we have from the 2? One is that a person and not a shar. If a shar digs a bar, his owner is not chayiv. And also the second one, that 2 people that dug a bar, 2 people are shutvim. Only one is chayiv. The Rebbe, I think because of I, fine, because you're talking about yiftach, you're talking about yichras. It says yiftach ish bar. So to match it, it says also ki yichra ish bar. It could have, you're right. It could have said v'chi yiftach ish bar oy ki yichra v'lo yichasenu. Fine, but it just matches now. It says Gemara, very good. So Chachamim learned that only ish, one person is chayiv if there's 2 partners. But which partner? Maybe the guy that dug 9. He did most of it. He did 90% of the damage. How do you know? How did Chacham know that's the last guy? It says that the guy that pays, the one that caused death. But you can't learn from there. Why? Because I already used these 3 words. If a person has a behema that he made it hegdish, or even a bchar, and it got a mum, so you redeem it. Now, that redeemed bull falls into somebody's pit. The halacha is shenaval bar potter. Why? Shenemar v'amesi eloi b'misha hamesh eloi. It has to be yours completely. Since you weren't able to give it over to your dog, you can't feed it to the dog. It still has a little bit of dusha to it, sort of. So it's not 100% yours. Not 100% yours. You don't get paid if it falls into a pit. But you still need those words v'amesi eloi. Amri v'lav meila shamas mino. You can learn 2 things from here because it's obvious that we're talking about the guy that did the final tefach. We're not talking about the guy that did 9 tefachim. The guy that did 10 tefach because there's death over here. So obviously he's the guy that the pasuk is talking about. Kichre ish. Torah Abba.
What's the question you asked? Question you asked
about, we're not there. Here. Now it's going to be the answer. Very good. What was the question I asked at the beginning? A guy that dug a pit 10 tefachim. Until now, Rosh Chodesh, until now we're learning 9 and 10. We don't have an answer yet. Now we're going to learn 10 and 20, 10 and 11. In other words, a guy dug a pit that's kedei lahamis, 10. Comes another guy and adds 1 tefach to it. Who's chayiv? Says Torah Rabbanon echad achofer bar Sara. A guy dug a kedei lahamis pit. Another guy added 10 more tefachim. Kulon chayavim. Each and every one of them is chayiv because the first guy was chayiv k'dei lahamis. The second guy just added. They're all partners. Reminu. So that answers the thing. Whoever said two people are both are chayiv is right. Reminu echad achover ba'asora ba'acher v'siyed v'kiyed ha'acher chayiv. There's a pit that's 10 tefachim deep, could kill an animal. Comes a guy, and this is in the Rosh Hashanah, let's say, yeah? Comes a guy, this is a meshuganer, a first class meshuganer. He goes and he puts a little lime on it, he smooths it out real nicely, then he takes paint, and he makes nice drawings, says Rashi, tziyurim, in the Rosh Hashanah. Mamish, a place that's not his, there's nothing, the city's going to come soon and fill it up. Yeah, he decided now is a good time to draw in the middle of Rosh Hashanah underground. So he's chayiv. Why is the second guy chayiv? Because he made the bar more narrower, and the narrower bar has less oxygen, bad air, kills the animal. Oh, so isn't that similar to our case where a guy dug 10 tefachim and another guy dug 20 tefachim? Over here, a guy dug a pit and he made it even narrower, so both of them should be chayiv. Why is only one of them chayiv? Nun Aleph Amud Beis. Lema. Oh, I don't have it. What's the sponsor? Again, sponsored by Jonathan Stefansky to remind the Olam that it's the end of the year and we have a Sif 46, Sif 46, so you can get your hechzer on your taxes. It's a great idea. And Jonathan Stefansky, the minute he heard it, he jumped out of his seat, went to that Nadarim Plus, which is still intact, Baruch Hashem. There's some guys that are running around the city breaking them. You can't do anything but douche on it. And Baruch Hashem, ours is intact. Leimahar Rebbe Harabana. So maybe in order to answer the question, is to say that we have machlokes here. This bar that is two different people that made it narrower, one made it narrower than the other. So there'll be machlokes Rebbe and Rabbanan. Now what? Then in Nizakim we said that if, according to Rebbe, 9 and 10, a 9th tefach and a 10th tefach, according to Rebbe, you're chayiv in Nizakim. So maybe he'll also be mechayiv in Misa. Gemara wants to say Rabbanan say no, it's only one guy that's chayiv. That's why this with the Sid over here, only one guy is chayiv. Omer Avzvid, no, Hava Rabbanan, only one person is chayiv, the last guy. When you're talking about 9 and 10, it's big nafkamina. So the guy that did the 10th tefach, he's the one that's responsible. But in our case, it's already 10 tefachim. He just went deeper, he made it 20, so it's a deadly pit to begin with. Then the second guy didn't add depth, he just added depth. No, it just came out on the spot. Unprepared. In that case, maybe Rabbanan will agree that both are partners to the death of the animal. As the Gemara, but that can't be. The first guy made a pit that's 10 tefachim, so it's already shir misa. And the second guy that came and made it narrower, it's already a shir misa. It wasn't a 9 and 10. Over there was very wide, so couldn't kill an animal from the bad ear. The second guy came along and he added bad ear. That's very similar to a 9 tefach pit that the second one added the 10 tefach to make it a misa pit. Over here we have a wide pit that doesn't cause death, and he made it narrow that causes death. Same thing. In other words, according to Rabbanan, be potter. This that you say that both are chayiv is great. So why? How do you explain the Sid one that the last guy's chayiv? There was no bad ear there at all, not even to damage anybody. Fine. And according to Shmuel, that says anyway, there's a problem with chavata. So says Rashi, talking about he put some mattress on the bottom over there. Omar Rava. Interesting shaila. It's in the reverse. Until now, we said you saw the picture of the two Hasidim pulling out a stone from the bottom of the pit and they made it 10. That's from the bottom. What if you have a 9 tefach pit, and he goes and adds a chulya. I'm going to call it a chulya. This round thing all the way around. I made it now 10 tefachim. So what's the shaila? Why should it be different? Okay, now he made a 10 tefachim pit. According to Rebbe, both of them be chayiv for the nezek. According to Rabbanon, only the second guy is chayiv. Pshita, what's the difference? Okay, that's a typical case that a guy went from 9 to 10, and according to Rabbanon, the second guy is chayiv. According to Rebbe, chayiv in the zakin, chayiv the second guy, and Misa both are chayiv. When you dig out, you added another tefach, you added bad air to the bottom. I know you're thinking over here about this havla, it's like making you crazy. How does it work, right? I know how you're thinking. But on top, when you added a tefach on top, you didn't add bad air. You added good air. That's where the good air is, on the top. No, by you adding another tefach on top where it's good, you created bad air all the way in the bottom. On the bottom, it's really bad air. By Rava. Tam tefach v'silek. A guy dug a 9 tefach pit. The second guy came around. This is going to shock you maybe. Second guy comes around and adds another tefach. Now it's a deadly pit. And then he does tshuva and throws the dirt back in. What happened? V'silek avon of mao. Mi amrina maido of chakle. Perhaps when he added, or when he time out. He took out the thing and he put the thing back in. No. No. Tam tefach. No. Look in the thing. Tam tefach. Chayfer bar tisha v'acher shlim la Sara. V'chazer achron v'sosam v'milei offer oiset tefach Yosef. Says Rashi. He made it 10 and he made it 9. Why? He did tshuva. V'sosam u'milei offer oiset tefach Yosef. He did tshuva. Says the Gemara, Mi amrina maida ava chakle oidim nistalko ma'aser rishon. Maybe by him making it 10, then the first guy that did 9 is gone. We don't look at him anymore. V'kamalei kula b'shusei. Perhaps now he became the balabas of the bar. The fact that he did tshuva doesn't help. Or no, maybe he just brought it back to the situation that it was before he started digging. Before he started digging it was 9. He brought it back to 9. Now Reuven, who dug 9, he's chayiv. Take it. We have a beautiful picture here. Oh, here we go. There's a bar. The total depth of this bar is 8. But out of the 8, there's 2 tefach of water. So any water that you have to times it by 2. So 2 equals 4. So 4 plus 6, right? Because you had 8, the total depth is 8. There's only 6 tfachim of air, 2 tfachim of water. 2 tfachim of water are equal 4 tfachim. So 4 plus 6 equals 10. So says the Gemara that's a case of a bar that kills. My taima, bar shmoinu me'em shnei tfachim mayim chaya. My taima, called tefach the maya. The way we calculate it is each tefach of water could trade the abashadami. It's 2 of earth, of no earth. Okay, so 2 tfachim of water equals 4 tfachim, plus the 6 tfachim above it. So when you have an 8 tefach cavity in the bar, and 2 of the 8 are water, that's considered 10. Ask the Gemara, Yiboilu, check this out. What about? What about? No. What's going on here? Let me do it manually. Here we go. Okay. What about 9 tefach of a pit that's exactly 9 tefachim deep, but the last tefach is water. So you have 7. No, this is not, the cheshbon over here is not good. Let's see. Okay, hold on a second. Let's just read it. Let's see what happens here. Ibaylu. Bar tisha umehem tefach echad mayim. There's 9 and 1 is water. So that 1 of water equals 2, and total you have 8. There's only 8 of air, 1 of water, 2 plus 8. He wrote 7. It has to be an 8. Okay. There's a mistake here, Yosef. I hope the next one he did okay. Where it says 7 tfachim, it should say 8 tfachim. Okay. Mi amrina given the little fisha mayo, let's be havlo. Or dilmo given the amik tfei is be havlo. Do we say the same calculation? Or perhaps there's very little water, so very little water doesn't really kill. Bar Shiva. Let's see this one. I hope he did better over here. I think so. But why is it not moving? Oh. Yes, that's better. Bar Shiva. The total depth of this pit is 7. But the 3 bottom tfachim are water. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus the 4 on top is 10. Okay, given the loyamiko, let's lehavla. Maybe it's not deep enough. Take. Basically, the question is: do we take this formula of the 8 tefach bar and do we do it in different ways? A guy finds a pit, and he makes it wider. What's this? I don't know what this one is. This came after. Oh, I guess this is it. Here we go. Oh, this is nice. I like this. Shkoyach. You have a pit that's 10 by 10 by 10. I think that's what this is for here. And he made it wider. He made it 11. Let me just make sure he did it the right way. Yes. If you look on the right side, it's not moving. He made it wide to the left. Okay. What do you mean? What's the problem? He did a favor to the bar. Now there's more oxygen in there. It's less of a killer. If an animal is coming from the left and he's walking, he's going to get to this bar a little quicker. Maybe that's what tripped him up. He was used to having a bar that's only 10, and he would walk around. Today, suddenly it's wider. He fell in. Let's check it out. If the animal died from lack of oxygen, then the opposite. He shouldn't be chayiv because he added oxygen over here. But if you look at the report from the veterinary coroner, he says there's a brain hemorrhage, something. So you know that he died from the fall, not from the lack of oxygen. So he's chayiv because he made it happen earlier. Rav says, no, let's just check it out. Depends if he came from the right or the left. In this exact case, if he came from the right side of this picture, then he's potter. Why? Because he didn't add to the right side, he added to the left. Sorry. If he came from the left, then he's chayiv. But if he came from the right, he added oxygen, so he should be potter. Itmar. Bar shamka kerachva. If you have a bar that's exactly, the width is the same as the height. Let me just say this about peh. There's a machloikis, a simple machloikis. If it's exactly the height of the width, the height of the bar is exactly the same as the width, what's the halacha? Bar shamka, in other words, if the width of the bar is greater than the height of the bar, then there's a lot of oxygen in there. If the width of the bar is narrower than the height of the bar, then everybody agrees there's a lack of oxygen. The question is exactly mamish efshel tzamtzim. What's the halacha? So we have machlokes. Bar shamka grachva. Rabbi is amritavayim. Mishmei the Rabbi Chanadam Mishmei the Rabbi money. Chadam aloylam yeshbo hevelat shiyeh rachba yoser alamka. If it's exactly, it's no good. It'll kill. Chadam aloylam ein bo hevel. It won't kill. The depth is, if the depth is more than the width. First guy comes along and doesn't cover the pit. When is the first guy potter? So you look at Rashi over here. So Rashi says, that what? We know for a fact, says Rashi, that he must have used this bar. If you're just going to read it simply, the Mishnah, as the Mishnah says it, that one guy saw his own pit, didn't cover it. The second guy came, Amai Rishon Potter, says Rashi. Harigam Pasha. Both of them are chayiv because the first guy also was negligent by walking by his own bar and not covering it. So at what point is the first guy potter? When the guy just lets the other guy go by, like we saw in this video, that he was drawing water, and then he left him over there. He says, okay, now it's your turn. It's not enough just to leave him there. He has to give him the cover, the manhole. He gives him the manhole. Says Gemara, a guy is drawing water from a well, and then his friend says, leave the pail and everything, I also want water. One shita is, as long as he puts the pail down, then it's the other guy's responsibility. He has to give him the cover of the well. Oh, so this is very, very interesting. Rebbe Lezer, what's the machlokes? What's the svar in the machlokes? The Gemara is going to a place that you would never dream of. Rebbe Lezer Yaakov Sovar Yesh Breira. It's about retroactive clarification. Unbelievable. When you say Yesh Breira, so if you have two partners that own a well together, they own all the water together. If you say this retroactive clarification, so every time Reuven takes a cup of water, it's 100% his. And every time Shimon takes a cup of water, retroactively we clarify that that's the cup of water that was his to begin with. If you say Ein Breira, that means that every drop of water is a mixture of Reuven and Shimon. You can never divide it. Oh, so therefore, I need to protect my water, and you have to watch your water. You have to watch your part of the bar, and I have to watch my part of the bar. That's if you say, Yesh Breira. We're divided here. If Ein Breira, then you become, says Rashi, a shayel. I'm watching your stuff. So if I'm watching your stuff, you got to make a break over here. Yeah, it's a little interesting, I know. So, Nachamo. Each one is filling up his own thing. So now, if I give you over the cover of the pit, now I am transferring. I have to watch everything at all times. You have to watch everything at all times. By me giving you the cover of the pit, now you have to watch it. But Rabban Savri ain't breira. Rabban said, no, we all own everything together. So now it's my responsibility right now to watch your stuff. I have to watch yours because in every cup of water, in every part of the well, there's a little bit of you, a little bit of me. So I'm watching your stuff. That's what the Gemara says. Interesting. Omar Avinu Mazal Tamayu. This machlokes Rebbe Elazar Yaakov and Chachamim. It's not a shulim shenoder another mezem. Similar thing. You have two partners that got into a big fight and they hate each other. They say, "I'll never benefit from you, and you'll never benefit from me." Certainly, so they can't even go into their own real estate. Not true. They could go in and each one takes a part. Why? If you hold, I could retroactively clarify what I own and what you own. So I went into my part, you went into your part. No, each and every inch of the real estate is owned by both of us, and therefore you can never get in there. It's interesting. We're going to have this. We're going to have it 2 more times tomorrow. It's repetitive. But if I sell a well to my friend, once I give him the cover of the well, there's a kinyan. As the Gemara, very simple. What's the case? If I bought it with cash, so I bought it with cash. I don't need a cover. If I'm treating it as real estate and I'm going to sit there and show everybody it's mine and do whatever I need to do, forget about the cover. Says Gemara, yeah, you're right. I wanted to buy b'chazaka. But you need the owner to say, there's a need to hear those words from the seller. But if the seller didn't say those words, all he did is he gave over the cover. It's as if he said specifically, go make a kinyan, Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful evening, have a wonderful week. Tomorrow, Be'ezer Hashem, at 7:15.